Hello, sports fan, and welcome to the Packs for Breakfast All-Star Outfield 2008 Upper Deck, 1980, 1989. It's like I should know this by heart by now. 1989 Donruss. So, of course, I'm sure you can tell the difference between the players and the cards, who's part of which. So this is the outfields that we've assembled from the packs of cards that we opened on Sunday, which we open every Sunday, 6 a.m. Mountain Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We open up packs of cards, come up with all-star teams. These were the all-star teams from 2008 Upper Deck and 1989 Donruss. Some of these players are making return appearances. Tony Gwynn, Rickey Henderson. These are guys that they're perennials. I mean, I think Rickey, this is his third. I think Tony Gwynn, this is his third. We put them on the teams quite a bit. So if you're wondering what the noise is in the background, I'm shuffling through papers trying to make sure that I've got my numbers right. 89 Donruss, 08 Upper Deck. I would look real silly if I didn't make that correction right now. So, first we're going to talk a little bit quickly about Tony Gwynn. We have talked about him before, but Tony Gwynn, 338 career batting average. He was an amazing pure hitter, just amazing. But the thing is, he won like 7 Gold Gloves. So it's not like he was just a hitter. He could field his position, and he was a pleasantly plump human being, but still obviously was very good even in the field. He had, I think, 400 or 500 stolen bases, so he was very light on his feet, very quick for a bigger man. But, you know, just amazing numbers. 3,141 career hits, 135. He didn't have a heavy bat, 135 career home runs, but 15-time All-Star, 8-time batting champion. This is his third All-Star for us, and he was voted into the Hall of Fame in 2007, getting 97.6% of the vote. We're going to talk about this a little more when we get to Ichiro, about nobody really ever goes in with 100%. I think Manny Rivera went in at 100%, but there are so many other players that should have. This is one of them. Tony Gwynn also had 19 straight seasons where he batted over 300. You're talking in his 20th year, he still batted 324. So, you know, he was great until the end. I mean, I don't know how many more years he could have played, but man, he could still rake the ball around the yard. Next up is Rickey Henderson. We've talked about him before. Rest in peace, Rickey. We lost him late last year. 297 career home runs, 1,406 stolen bases, 279 batting average for his career. He was the MVP in 1990. He only had 1 Gold Glove. That always kind of surprised me. Now, the only reason that I can think of that he maybe didn't get more Gold Gloves is because in center field at that time, you're also competing a little bit with Ken Griffey Jr. But it seemed like center field must have just been stacked with great center fielders, because I don't think Griffey had a super giant amount of Gold Gloves. Not enough to take so many away from Rickey. But Rickey, one of the best leadoff hitters of all time. Good power, great speed, good in the field. And then a player we haven't talked about yet, Kirk Gibson. Now, most people are going to remember Kirk Gibson as a Dodger. Of course, the dramatic home run that he hit against the Oakland Athletics in 90. It was either 88 or 90, one of those, probably 88. It's like, because 89 was the year that the A's won the World Series. So I don't know, sometimes you have to lose one to win one. But I remember I was rooting for the A's in that World Series, and Kirk Gibson just broke my heart with that one, because I really have never been a Dodgers fan. So it's like, but Kirk Gibson was a great player for many years, but not one of the all-time greats. He had a 268 career batting average, 255 home runs, 870 RBIs. He played for the Detroit Tigers for a lot of his career. He played 8 seasons, or he played 79 to 87 in Detroit. Then he went to the Dodgers. He was only with the Dodgers for 3 seasons. Had a season with the Royals, had a season with the Pirates, and then he went back to the Tigers to finish out his career 93 to 95. He won 2 World Series. Detroit's last World Series, he was on that team in 84 and 88. Of course, he won with the Dodgers. So that means he won in 88. So that means it's like, yes, 89 was the year that the A's won. So it was the year before that he beat the A's. He was the NL MVP in 1985 or 1988. I'm sorry, and he's not a Hall of Famer, which it does surprise me. He had 284 career stolen bases, but it does surprise me a little bit. He was a big game kind of guy, and I guess, the numbers really don't say that he should be a Hall of Famer, but I guess I never really ever researched his numbers until now, so I guess I kind of understand why he's not. But still a great player, definitely deserving to be up there with those guys. Now, next to him is Ichiro. Ichiro is one. He was that guy. He played in Japan, and before he got to us, he had played like 8 years in Japan, or 9 seasons in Japan. He had played 9 years already in Japan before he got to us. He ended up playing another 19 years here in America. I mean, Ichiro played forever. He played from 01 to 2012 with the Seattle Mariners. He played 3 years with the Yankees. He had 2 years with the Minnesota Twins, and then he had 2 more years again at the end of his career with the Seattle Mariners. So kind of like Gibson, started out with a team, came back to him at the end. So he retired a Mariner. He still holds the record for most hits in a season, 262 hits in a season. He has a career 60 WAR, 311 career batting average, 3,089 hits. Those are just MLB hits, 3,089. 117 home runs. No, not a big bat, but it didn't matter. He did everything else great. 780 RBIs, 509 stolen bases. He was a 10-time All-Star, 10 Gold Gloves, and he was the MVP in 2001. The thing is, he was voted into the Hall of Fame this year. The problem I have with the Hall of Fame voters, nobody gets in on 100%, except for, I think, Manny Rivera. Fact check me on that. Put it down in the comments if you know that for sure. I can look it up after, but that won't help the video now. So, Tony Gwynn, obvious Hall of Famer. Ichiro, obvious Hall of Famer. Randy Johnson, obvious Hall of Famer. There are guys out there, Greg Maddux, there are guys that play this game, and they are obvious Hall of Famers. First ballot, played the game the right way, were the elite of the elite at their positions, and at the game at that time, they were the elite of the elites. And there's just no reason for anybody to leave them off a ballot. There's just none. Tony Gwynn is not exactly known for being a prick to the media, so I don't understand why you wouldn't 100% him in. I don't understand why Ichiro doesn't 100% in, why Randy Johnson doesn't 100% in. You obviously broke the rule if Rivera got in like that, so there's no reason to not keep the tradition going. Ichiro deserved to be there. Pujols, guys like that, they should come up as 100% because they are no-brainers on making the Hall of Fame. So that's kind of my little rant on that. So we'll move on to Vlad Guerrero. Vlad Guerrero's been on one of these before. 160 career home runs. Oh wait, that's Vlad Jr. That's not even senior. It's like Vlad. Oh, that is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Yeah, he has been on these before. I think that's Vlad Jr. That's not Vlad Jr. That's Vlad Sr. Let's look closely at this card. I didn't think he played into 08. But that is not Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So it's like the stats I have are for Junior. I guess I'm just I am unprepared. My apologies, Vladimir Guerrero. I am unprepared to give all of your stats because I have Junior stats sitting in front of me, and that's wrong. So that is totally not professional of me, and it's like, if I was getting paid to do this, you guys should be angry. But I don't get paid to do it, so I can make mistakes. But Vlad Jr. or Vlad Sr. Vlad Sr. Get out of the junior. Vlad Sr. played a lot of years with the Montreal Expos. Very big bat. Definitely deserving. I think was he a right or a left fielder? Because I didn't do research, I don't know. It's like I can give you Vlad Jr. stats again if you want, because that's what I was starting to do. Last up, Matt Holliday. I do have his stats. I did research Matt Holliday. So, Matt Holliday, Colorado Rocky. One of my favorite Colorado Rockies. I know I say that every time I put up a Colorado Rocky. That was one of my favorites. But Matt Holliday was definitely a favorite. But here's the thing. When you go back and you look at the numbers, you don't realize how short his stint was with us. He only played for us for 5 seasons, 04 to 08. Very good seasons. His career batting average is 294, 2,096 career hits, 316 home runs, 1,220 RBIs. The man had a very good bat, and it pained me when we sent him packing. The thing is, I always thought we sent him packing to the Cardinals. No, the Cardinals is where he ended up, but we actually traded him to the Oakland Athletics. The Oakland Athletics gave us Houston Street, who I think was a closer at the time, Greg Smith. I didn't do any research on him either because I figured not worth the time. And we got Carlos Gonzalez, who Cargo actually played quite a few years with us and was a good player, a little bit too injured. But those are the players we got for Holliday when we traded him to the Athletics. Then the A's were the ones that actually traded him to the Cardinals for Brett Wallace, Clayton Mortensen, and Shane Peterson. Obviously, all 3 Hall of Famers. What a deal for the Oakland A's to give Matt Holliday away for those 3 guys. It's like, okay. It's like, definitely did not give him up for very many All-Star appearances. It's like, I think Matt Holliday probably had them all beat, with his 7 All-Star appearances. He played for the A's for only a half a season, I think. Played for the Cardinals for about 7 years. Played with the Yankees for a season. The Rockies, he came back to us, finished out his career. He was a World Series champion in 2011 with the Cardinals. So he did finally get his ring. He did not get it in 08 with us because, of course, the Rockies petered out and were swept by the Red Sox. And that's All-Star for now.